What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the mortgage world? Welcome to the Monday Market Update. My name is Sean Grapevine. I am the director of Agent Direct, the host of the Monday Market Update, coming to you live from our studios in front of a live studio audience in Atlanta, Georgia. This week, I am joined by a new co-host as we bid farewell to our Baron of Bips, our Titan of the 10-year, our best efforts with no efforts, man of the year, Austin Koenig, who has gone on to explore other opportunities. We wish him all the best, and I give him a moment of silence here. Well observed, everybody. Well, in his stead, we have the young and up-and-coming co-host for the week, maybe for the year. Who knows? We will see how well he does. Will he be like Alabama and sneak his way into the Monday Market Update playoffs, or is he the undefeated Florida State who is snubbed nonetheless? Nobody knows. His name is Jon Arnsmeyer. He's the gospel, according to John Mark. The full name of the man who wrote the book, Mark, was actually John Mark. So we're looking forward to the economic gospel as told by John Mark here. He's from the ridiculously named Kansas City, Missouri. Somebody ought to talk to them about that. If I had to guess what kind of car he drives, I would say it's a Subaru Forester, because all of his hobbies include photography, mountain biking, camping with the family, traveling to national parks, whiskey, and gardening. How close was I? What do you drive?
I drive a
Toyota
4Runner.
Yep.
The wife drives an Outback. So you're
oh man, I couldn't decide whether to put 4Runner or Subaru. So glad to hear I'm as sharp as ever on essentially profiling people. He could fill in as your therapist in these turgid and tempestuous 10-year markets, because he was pursuing a master's in counseling and fell into the mortgage market from there. I don't know. He probably just saw us all struggling to come up for air and said, these people need my help. And his first couple jobs, he was a shoe salesman at Just for Feet, where apparently your 13th pair is always free. It would take me literally 5 years to get to that 13th pair. I mean, maybe 7 years. I just don't go through shoes fast enough to do that. I guess that's why it's an effective tactic for them. So
exactly.
Did I miss anything, John? Welcome, John.
No, listen, I'm just a basic boy. There's nothing new about me. I'm an old millennial.
Is that your photography behind you? Oh no. Well, I guess is it? Well, some of them are pictures of you, right?
Yeah. So this is no, these are mostly other people's photos. I keep mine hidden away. They're up in coffee shops, not on my website. So there you go.
Are they? They're up in coffee shops?
Yeah. I do some galleries, do some exhibits,
Oh,
if you go
my
to
gosh.
johnmark.co, you can get the full rundown. So
whoa, you must have been pretty early to that. Okay.
I dabble.
Photos hung in coffee shops. All right, I just have to, I gotta like refresh the ammunition for these intros.
Right. Yeah.
As frequently as possible. Hopefully, you get some nicknames along the way. It'd be great.
That would be a Christmas gift come early if we could develop that now.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, I'm setting the stage for you.
Yeah, I think there's some great opportunities here. Well, let's dive into talk about some economic news, talk about some from last week, some upcoming economic news, and then could talk about some product, partner, process, anything like that that's new.
Yeah.
And then I think the real thing to talk about was that insane bond rally on Friday. How fun was that?
Right. Talking with the dearly departed Austin in the last week, we had that crazy 5-week run in the markets. The stocks were up, the bonds were down. And honestly, it just felt like everything ran out of steam on Friday, especially as we enter into December, which, as one economist said, kind of dances to its own beat. So we're looking at, do we get a Santa rally? Or are we going to start seeing some tax loss harvesting in the market? So Friday kind of set the stage for what could be a December to remember.
A December to remember. Wow. He drives a Toyota, but he practices Honda.
That's right.
I worked right next to the speaker at a Honda dealership in my my younger days. And during the day after Thanksgiving, they blast about the same 11 Christmas songs you're there like 60 hours a week when you're car salesman. So it was
Right.
absolutely miserable. So definitely was the Grinch that year. Okay. So you just think like it ran out of steam. And I mean, but also, Fed chair Jerome Powell spoke,
Mhm.
several other Fed governors and presidents and et cetera spoke as
Right.
well. And I mean, it seems like the market, I mean, fully believes that the top is in. Um,
Mhm.
do you think that there is? I just think that any hope. Do you think any of this is structured around like soon to come rate decreases in the next couple quarters? I mean, I just don't see that as being a possibility.
I think the reality is everyone was so amped up after that run in December, and then everybody came out on Friday speaking, and they put the brakes on that a little bit. So they're saying, hey, we may not be cutting as early as we thought. I think there's the kind of that Eugene Patterson idea of it's a long struggle in the same direction. And I even know Austin mentioned this last week, the idea that, hey, we're not out of the woods yet. So we want to be there, but we might not be to rate cutting just yet. So that's what we're seeing, the rally on the bonds on Friday. We're seeing that again today. Everyone's just kind of slowing down and reassessing.
Yeah. I think any hope of rate cuts is just. I mean, I've said this on several of these, but like, I think that the Fed realized how little effect rate cuts have when the crap hits the fan. And my guess is, small reductions in economic output are not going to they're not going to react to that. Like even like light recessions, I just don't even see them like lowering rates in that. I think they're just going to be like, this is healthy. Because they know, like, when the crisis hits, you have to have as many rate cut arrows in your quiver as possible. Because I mean, we went well below zero. When you factor in stimulus to the American people,
Right.
and I just don't. I think anybody who's hoping for that. So, but we are. There is. I think who was I talking to? I guess I was talking to Austin last week. Where there's this huge divide between the 10-year and mortgage-backed securities right now. Of in rate 300 bips or so. I mean, 10 years at 4.25, rates are 7.25, 7.5. Do you is that what we should expect to see decrease even if there aren't any rate cuts?
I would hope so. I would hope that we would see that shrink. I would hope.
Me too.
But again, I mean, we hope for the best. And as we speak with Rob Piccolo, we always want to think like we want to get off the float boat and we want to get those rates in. But right now, again, we had the crazy rally, and that was really great. But we might just be in for a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a slowdown. So that spread might stay there for a little bit of a prolonged time. And I think that's just what we're seeing across the board in the last 48 hours of market.
Did we see as many gains? It's hard for me to like decipher what's equivalent. Did we see as many gains in MBS as we did in the 10-year? Like the 10-year rate dropped, precipitously on Friday and all last week.
Right.
Did mortgage-backed securities react more or less or same? Was it in line?
I want to say it was the same, but across again, you were asking me offline about this, kind of looking at like where's the band of everything. Everything moved roughly 10% over the last 5 weeks. So did we dip a little bit on Friday? Did we come back a little bit Friday? I generally look at this as like, where's the direction going? Again, great December, and we might just have a little bit slower December, but do we want it to be a December to remember? So
we do.
Not to skirt the question, but that's just kind of the general idea that I'm looking at this as.
Well, let's talk a little bit about upcoming news this week. What has the opportunity to move the arrow? We just had factory orders come out, but way below forecast, which was already way below last month. So bad news if you own a factory, which I don't. Good news if you watch rates. And then we've got ISM stuff. Not really. Oh, ADP jobs, and then jobless claims.
Right.
I guess like the proper like non-farm payrolls on Friday.
It is employment week. So we've got Tomorrow we've got job openings. Wednesday, as you said, ADP employment, and then Thursday is the big one. That's going to be our initial jobless claims. We're going to keep tracking that. So are we going to see this continued slowdown in the job market, which is what the Fed has wanted this entire time?
Yeah. I agree. It should be quite interesting. It seems to have a mind of its own. When people expect low, it goes high. When people expect high, it goes low. Hopefully, we continue to see some softening in the labor market. It still feels crazy to say that out loud, but I guess that's what we're hoping for.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
As far as lock conditions, I mean, you can always, I don't know if everyone knows this, you can always check Rob Piclo's status on Workplace to see whether it's a lock or float. 97% of the time it is lock. How do you feel about this week, John?
I said this a few minutes ago, I'm always going to encourage people to get their locks in to protect that. Again, December marches to its own beat. We had a great November, and we might just see a plateau, if you will. So to mitigate any potential volatility coming up, are we going to see, like I said, are we going to see that Santa rally? Are we going to start to see some tax loss harvesting? We don't know. So I would say get those locks in. That's my MO.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the greatest float down policy on earth, which is called other investors. I'll try not to drag this out too long for you on your first one. I know you're probably exhausted. You know, the heat of the lights on your face, you just the sweat, the stress, the practice we've been through to get ready for this. But any processes, partners, or products you guys have coming out or that just came out that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually want to highlight a product that you announced internally last week, and that was the Home Ready SCPC product, which has a $5,000. You said it better than I could, but a $5,000 grant towards that. And the best part about this being that this Home Ready product, there's no AMI limits to that.
It's crazy.
It's right.
Right.
We actually had one come in late Friday night, which is great. So we do have some internal things that we're working through to get that rolled out. You know, and with any new product, there's going to be a few hiccups, but we're rolling with that. That's a great product, a great offering for your clients.
Yeah. I think the main one is it's a brokered product through UWM, and it's a product that they have listed as traditionally, right? Home Ready is traditionally non-Del.
Right.
So your branch margin may be different than the company's brokered margin. I mean, you know, it probably won't be by very much. So it's going to be difficult to mess it up by a lot, but definitely make sure you check with your branch leader about getting this priced out properly so that you can sell it. And again, everybody, this product is based on where you live, where the borrower lives, not where they're moving. So they could be buying a mansion in Hollywood, California, and if they live in wherever, like anywhere in these areas, in Virginia. As long as they're going to obviously occupy the house and that one of the borrowers is a first-time home buyer, they can buy any house they want. They get to $5,000. They also get $500 to a home warranty, which I was not smart enough to figure out how to use in my first year of home ownership, and $500 towards an appraisal credit. So pretty like decent. I mean, it turns for a $250,000 house, it turns it into a 1% down program.
Yeah.
There you go. So great program. I appreciate you guys' hard work on this and patience with us as we, stumble through submitting submitting this properly. You can go to UWM's website to see the eligibility tool to make sure that the person lives in the right place. And I just think it's so great. I really do think that adds agency. Like if you really want to serve underserved communities, not forcing people to move into them, but helping the people that already live there. I just think that's like such a novel idea. I can't believe it's never happened before.
Right. Yeah. And I'll just say this: I live in Kansas City, which is traditionally one of the more segregated cities in America, which has a deep history of redlining. And we've seen the benefit of these programs play out across the board in adding home ownership to underserved communities and giving our borrowers access to home ownership with these programs. So again, this is another tool that we have in our belt that is going to be absolutely fantastic to take advantage of.
I agree. Well, John, you have done Absolutely fantastic. Yourself, wonderful, wonderful work today on your first ever Monday Market Update. Looking forward to many more, and appreciate your time, Jon. Appreciate your time out there in TV land, viewers. And let's go get some loans. Thanks, Jon.
Let's do it. Thanks, Sean.